Team 33 of 52 teams of 8. Help make America wiser and kinder with antique rival wisdom team quotes that have passed the test of time to make humanity great, with words of wisdom to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. Give your kids free, easy, extra advantage math, spelling, and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com. Free easy math wisdom workbooks with Octo-Repetition to grow math self-confidence. Free easy alpha Cypher coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms that have passed the test of time to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. Team quote 33.1. Let your tongue speak what your heart thinks. Davy Crockett, 1786 to 1836. This straightforward advice from Davy Crockett reflects both his frontier values and enduring wisdom about authenticity. The quote advocates for a direct alignment between thought and speech, a harmony between inner truth and outward expression. From Crockett, a figure known for his straightforward nature, this represents both personal philosophy and practical wisdom. In leadership, as a politician and military leader, Crockett understood that honest speech builds trust. His quote suggests that leadership requires genuine expression rather than calculated rhetoric. In personal integrity, it implies that speaking our truth isn't just about honesty with others, but about being true to ourselves. The connection between heart and tongue suggests authenticity as a way of life. As cultural commentary, in Crockett's Frontier America, where a person's word was their bond, this principle had particular resonance. It reflects the value placed on straightforward dealing in early American culture. There's also an interesting contrast between the simplicity of the statement and its challenging implications. While the idea is simple, actually practicing this level of honesty requires courage and conviction. This mirrors Crockett's own reputation as someone who maintained his principles even when it was politically costly. The enduring appeal of this quote lies in its recognition that authentic expression, allowing our speech to truly reflect our inner thoughts and feelings, is both a virtue and a challenge. Team quote 33.2. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. Voltaire, 1694 to 1778. This profound statement from Voltaire upends conventional notions of moral responsibility in a thought-provoking way. The quote radically expands the concept of guilt from active wrongdoing to passive omission. It suggests several deep insights. Moral responsibility. Voltaire proposes that we bear responsibility not just for our actions, but for our inactions. Our moral ledger includes not only the harm we cause, but the good we fail to do. Universal obligation. By using every man, Voltaire suggests this is a universal human condition. No one is exempt from the responsibility to do good when they can. Active virtue. The quote implies that moral behavior isn't just about avoiding wrong. It requires actively pursuing good. Neutral passivity becomes a form of moral failure. This perspective was particularly pointed coming from Voltaire, a key figure of the Enlightenment who consistently challenged people to think critically about moral and social obligations. During a time of significant social inequality in France, his words carried special weight about the responsibility of the privileged to act for the common good. The quote retains its challenging nature today. It asks us to consider not just what we've done wrong, but what good we might have done but didn't. It transforms moral responsibility from a passive, do no harm, to an active obligation to contribute positively to the world. Team quote 33.3. Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Epictetus, 55 AD, 135 AD. Let me break down this quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. The core message is that challenges and hardships serve as a mirror, revealing our true character, capabilities, and inner strength. When we face difficulties, they 1. Test our resilience and show how we handle adversity. 2. Reveal our problem-solving abilities and creativity. 3. Demonstrate our emotional management and self-control. 4. Expose our core values and priorities. 5. Highlight our capacity for growth and adaptation. This aligns with Epictetus's broader Stoic philosophy, which emphasized personal responsibility and viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than mere misfortunes. As a former slave who became a respected philosopher, Epictetus spoke from personal experience about how adversity can reveal and strengthen character. In modern terms, we might say pressure makes diamonds, or you don't know what you're capable of until you're tested. The quote suggests that our true measure isn't found in easy times, but in how we respond when things get difficult. Team quote 33.4. A lie which is half a truth is ever the blackest of lies. Alfred Lord Tennyson, 1809 to 1892. This quote by Tennyson offers a profound insight into the nature of deception. Let me break it down. The power of a half-truth lies in its ability to be simultaneously accurate and deeply misleading. It's particularly dangerous because it has just enough truth to make it believable. It can be technically defended as not false. It exploits people's tendency to fill in gaps with favorable assumptions. It's harder to identify and refute than a complete falsehood. For example, if someone says he was at the scene of the crime, true, but omits that the person was there helping victims, the crucial context, this creates a far more damaging deception than an outright lie. Tennyson calls this the blackest of lies because it's more insidious than complete fabrication. It abuses trust more deliberately by weaponizing truth itself. It requires premeditation to carefully select which truths to tell and which to withhold. This concept remains extremely relevant today, especially in an era of carefully crafted political messaging, marketing, and social media posts where facts can be selectively presented to create misleading narratives while maintaining plausible deniability. The quote warns us to be wary not just of obvious falsehoods, but of incomplete truths that may be designed to deceive through omission. It's a call for intellectual honesty and complete truthfulness rather than mere technical accuracy. Team quote 33.5. Big results require big ambitions. Heraclitus 545 BC. 485 BC. This deceptively simple quote from the pre-Socratic Greek philosopher Heraclitus captures an essential truth about achievement and success. The scale of our accomplishments tends to mirror the scale of our aspirations. This works on multiple levels. 1. Psychological. When we set ambitious goals, we mentally prepare ourselves for the effort required and expand our sense of what's possible. 2. Practical. Big goals demand more comprehensive planning, greater resource allocation, and stronger commitment, all factors that increase the likelihood of significant results. 3. Motivational. Ambitious targets energize us and inspire the sustained effort needed for major achievements. This aligns with Heraclitus's broader philosophy of constant change and transformation. He's famous for saying, "No man ever steps in the same river twice," emphasizing how everything is in flux. This quote suggests we can harness and direct that change through our ambitions. It's interesting that this ancient wisdom anticipates modern psychological findings about goal-setting theory, that challenging, specific goals tend to produce better performance than easy or vague ones. The quote also implicitly challenges us to examine our own ambitions. If we're not seeing the results we want, perhaps we need to scale up our aspirations rather than scale down our expectations. Team quote 33.6. It is a sin not to do what one is capable of doing. José Martí 1853 to 1895. This powerful quote from José Martí, the Cuban national hero and intellectual, explores the moral dimension of human potential and responsibility. Let me unpack its meaning. The quote suggests that our capabilities create obligations, that having the ability to do something worthwhile makes us morally responsible for doing it. This operates on several levels. It challenges the common view that sins are only acts of commission, doing wrong things. Instead, Martí suggests that omission, failing to use our gifts and abilities, is itself morally wrong. There's an implicit argument that talents and capabilities aren't just personal assets, but come with a duty to use them for the greater good. This aligned with Martí's own life. He used his literary and intellectual gifts in service of Cuban independence and Latin American dignity. The quote also pushes against complacency and comfortable mediocrity. If someone has the capability to help others but chooses not to, create something meaningful but remains idle, speak truth to power but stays silent, solve problems but ignores them, Martí would view these as moral failures, not just missed opportunities. This perspective has fascinating implications for both individual and social ethics. It suggests that discovering what we're capable of is itself a moral imperative, since we can't fulfill our obligations without understanding our capabilities. In modern terms, we might say, with great power comes great responsibility, but Marti takes it further, suggesting that even modest capabilities create meaningful moral obligations. It's a call to live up to our full potential, not for personal glory, but as an ethical duty. Team quote 33.7. Blessed are the forgetful, for they get the better even of their blunders. Friedrich Nietzsche, 1844–1900. This characteristically witty and insightful quote from Nietzsche offers an interesting perspective on memory and psychological well-being. Nietzsche suggests that forgetfulness can be a gift rather than a flaw. By "blessed are the forgetful," he's making a subtle reference to the biblical Beatitudes, blessed are the, but turns it toward a psychological rather than spiritual truth. The wisdom here lies in recognizing that holding on to past mistakes can paralyze us with shame or regret, prevent us from taking future risks, keep us stuck in cycles of self-recrimination, block personal growth and new experiences. The forgetful person, by contrast, naturally practices what modern psychology calls emotional regulation. They move forward more easily after failures, maintain confidence despite past mistakes, take fresh risks without being haunted by old ones, learn from mistakes without being defined by them. The phrase, get the better even of their blunders, is particularly clever, suggesting that forgetting isn't just about escaping consequences, but actually triumphing over our mistakes by not letting them determine our future actions. This connects to Nietzsche's broader philosophy about life affirmation and the importance of moving forward rather than being weighed down by the past. Though he's not advocating for willful ignorance or denial of responsibility, he's suggesting that a certain lightness about our past failures might be healthier than perfect recall. Team quote 33.8. In life, as in chess, forethought wins. Charles Buxton, 1823–1871. This chess metaphor from Charles Buxton captures a fundamental truth about success in both strategic games and life itself. The parallel between chess and life is particularly apt because both require planning ahead. Just as a chess player must think several moves ahead, life's best outcomes often come from anticipating future consequences rather than just reacting to immediate situations. Pattern recognition. Success in both realms involves recognizing patterns from past experiences and using them to make better decisions in the present. Resource management. Whether it's chess pieces or life resources, time, money, energy, careful allocation and timing matter tremendously. Strategic thinking. Understanding that each move or decision creates new opportunities while closing off others, requiring careful consideration of trade-offs. What makes the quote especially insightful is that in both contexts, impulsive moves often lead to regret. Recovery from major mistakes can be difficult or impossible. The best outcomes usually result from patient, methodical thinking. Short-term sacrifices may be necessary for long-term advantages. Buxton's observation remains particularly relevant today, when the pace of modern life often pressures us to make quick decisions without proper reflection. The quote reminds us that taking time to think through consequences is not wasted time. It's essential investment in better outcomes. If you'd like to help raise school test scores and self-confidence, you can give your kids free Easy Extra Advantage math, spelling, and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free Easy Math Wisdom Workbooks with Octo-Repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free Easy Alpha Cypher coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this Cypher quote of encouragement using either our learning to spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms that have passed the test of time to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt, And most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equalities are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms. Like pretty witty baby onesies and baby tees that you and others will see and read multiple times a day. The same is true with pretty witty kids, but they'll also share these wisdoms with anyone that can read at daycare or school. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think tees I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom that have passed the test of time. Our social equalities help make us all wiser and kinder with blatantly subliminal messages promoting a more fair and equal opportunity society for all. And don't forget our giftwisdoms.com for birthdays and holidays that makes it easy to share the wisdom with clothing, coffee mugs, and magnets. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom that have passed the test of time to make us all wiser and kinder. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. Join the 52 of 8 today at 52of8.com.